polyphenols that you find in Autron Teal.
What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can help you have more energy, and polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony.
Good afternoon. Yeah, what that's Trey Chatwin would call you. Good afternoon, Spooners. Spoonies, Spooners, Spoonies. Hey, whatever, listeners, viewers, welcome back. It is Fridays. It's not Food Porn Friday. What are we going to call Friday? It's not Boozy Brunch Friday. That's the wrong show. It's the wrong channel, even. I don't know. It's Friday. It's Friday. Yay. Anyway, I'm going to drink to that. Right now, I have in front of me an Arrogant Bastard Ale, and it says you are not worthy. This is out of, where are they out of? It's the Arrogant Brewing Company out of, Matt even said on the show earlier, who cares? It's beer for breakfast on Friday, if you're waking up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Anyway, Chef Patrick Mosher here, the Food Biz Pro. We got lots to talk about today. I got one of my friends calling in, John Cheverniak. He's been on here before. He's out of Northwest Arkansas. He's been a what do you call him? He's an R&D chef, actually. He helps you take a product from concept to the shelves of grocery stores, possibly restaurants, but mostly shelf-stable or refrigerated products. Pretty interesting guy. He's got some updates. He's got a food truck in the works, a big client now that's going to be taking him down to Houston for a few weeks. Looking forward to chatting with him. And then, of course, at the end of the day, that's our last segment. Dessert, which on Fridays is What Are We Drinking This Weekend? Cheryl Heisler, from mixedmetaphors.com will be calling in and telling us what are we drinking this weekend. And on that note, I guess it's whatever you really want. Hey, actually, I just got a note from my friend Rick Perez. How the heck are you? Good. Just went live on the show. Tune in. Live on the show. I type, you know what? One regret in life. One single regret. Everybody out there that has children, tell them this. Not taking a typing class when I was in high school or junior high is my one regret. By the time I got to university, I was going to a university and out of college. They didn't teach typing, and I was SOL, so to speak. I'm still paying the price. All right, so tune in. There you go. Tune in, Rick Perez. Tune in. All right, there we go. So today, I was thinking. It's the time of year when, everybody's starting to grill out, barbecue. As we say in the Northeast, yes, we Yankees don't grill out, we barbecue. That's called using the barbecue, the grill. And I like to read cookbooks this time of year. There's a lot of new stuff that comes out right before summer. And I was thinking about how cookbooks have changed. I have a stack of books here. I have the Food Lover's Companion. It's got like 6,000 culinary terms in it. I have Todd English, fantastic chef from Olives. His is a pretty simple cookbook. It's basically, it's a soft cover book. It's just the recipe, a few photos, black and white. You have, this is one of my all-time favorites. You can see if you're watching on Facebook, you can see all these recipes that were tagged in here. This is from one of my all-time favorite restaurants, the Union Square Cafe. Danny Meyer was the chef. He and Michael Romano were partners. And there are very few photos, if any, in here. I think there are 8 or 10 in the entire book. But the recipes are very, very detailed and very simple. Now we got here, what do we got here? We have Manit, right? Manit Chauhan. She's been on Food Network, 7,000 times. But hers is very visual, right? It's a very visual book. Lots of photos. Recipes are fairly simple to follow. Lots of bold flavors. Nice and wonderful. And I have one here from Marcus Samuelson. I'm not even going to show his because he still owes me an interview. You dogged me twice at the last 2 events. Not very happy with you right now. Great chef, though. But then I looked at some of the older cookbooks. And there are a couple of people that... excuse me. There are a couple of huge influences in the culinary world in the last couple of centuries. One was Auguste Escoffier. All right, he's the father of modern French cuisine. No, I mean, actually, it's more the style of cooking, the way that the kitchens were divided up. And he came up with what's called the brigade system. And the brigade system was basically, I want to say there's 11 stations in a kitchen. Let's look up brigade system, because if I don't get this right, I'll here we go. So, yeah, kitchen system. There's basically, there it is right there. I think there's 11. So it starts at the top. You have the executive chef and then the chef de cuisine. And then from there, you basically have sous chef, and then you have chefs de partie. And chefs de partie, these are chefs that are over one particular area in the kitchen. So executive chef, you're the administrator, you design the menu, and pretty much just point and direct. That's your role. And very rarely would you see an executive chef in a traditional French kitchen cooking. They're typically playing what we call the expediter, where they're touching every plate that goes out, making sure it's properly garnished, properly cooked, timed correctly, the temperature's right, and they send the whole table of food at one time. Yeah, the chef de cuisine, they're really the person that runs the actual production of the kitchen. The sous chef, okay, which means under chef or assistant chef, really. The sous chef, they have an interesting role. They run a lot of the logistics of the kitchen. Purchasing, the bulk production, they manage all of that, and all of the chefs de partie. The chefs de partie are really, that's the grind it out every day, cook on the line, and there are several of them. You have the pâtissier, right? You have the garmanger, intermitier, the poissonnier, rôtissier, and the saucier. Now, what are they? Well, pâtissier, that's basically the pastry chef, right? You have the garmanger. They do the cold dishes. So things that are cold, prepared a la minute, like salads, any cold appetizers. And once in a while, they help on some of the desserts as well. The entremetier, they do all of the vegetable courses, or the vegetable components for a dish. The poissonnier is the fish person. Now, the fish, they butcher, they cook the fish, but they also typically make the sauce for the fish. The rôtisseur, that's basically the person that runs the grill. That's the anything that's run off the grill, and almost all beef dishes. And the saucier. And the saucier is the person that does all sauces for every dish except typically fish. Then you have you have the dishwasher, and you have the commis. The commis is basically the I don't even know what you call him. Kind of like the kitchen valet, so to speak. He is the do whatever it takes to keep a job long enough to become one of the chefs de partie, basically. And then you have an apprentice, which a lot of times is the commis. So that was Auguste Escoffier. Now, he has right here this fancy little cookbook that's in my hot little hands. And, oh, look, some handwritten recipes in here. Yeah, we'll stick those aside. I wonder where those were. Been missing those for years. So this cookbook is not the easiest to use, because it has, let's see, there are 297 or 2,973 recipes in this book. Now, this book is only, well, it's more than I thought. It's about 850 pages. 850 pages, and you have 2,973 recipes. So what does that mean? It means when you open it up to say, filet of beef. Let's see. Let's find a different one. Okay. We're going to do the Andalusian fillets of beef, okay, which are in the Andalusian style, which is going to have a sauce, and it's going to have bacon. So the recipe reads like this. This is recipe 1044. Having removed all connective tissue from the fillet, lard it with thin strips of bacon and poêle or roast it. Glaze it at the last moment, set it on a long dish, and surround it with some grilled half peppers filled with rice a la Greek. It's Greek rice. And that's recipe 2253. So now you have to refer to recipe 2253. So you mark this page, you go to recipe 2253, you look at what that is, and hopefully 2253 has no other sub-recipes. All right, I'm going to tell you, this is how tedious it used to be to cook classic French cuisine. 2253, rice Greek style. Prepare some pilaf rice. Recipe 2255. Okay, recipe 2255. Fry 1 chopped half onion and blah, 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 blah. Stir over the fire. Add the rice. Da-da-da. Add the stock. Cover it. Cook it. Now, you made the pilaf, or you know the recipe for that. Now you go back to recipe 2253 and continue. You prepare some pilaf. Recipe 2255. Okay, check. Add to it per 1 pound of its weight, 1/2 onion, chopped and fried in butter, etc., etc., etc. And complete with 1/4 pint of peas cooked a la Francais, recipe 2193, and one and 1/2 ounce of red sweet peppers. Okay, so let's see. Peas a la Francais, recipe 2193. All right, let's go back to 2193 now. So it goes on and on. So you go to 2193, and it's going to say a la Francais includes this other sub-recipe. Okay. So basically, it takes 7 to 9 recipes to make Andalusian fillets of beef. Yeah, 9 recipes, approximately, to make one recipe in this cookbook. Because there's another recipe further down that I know has 2 sub-recipes, and then there's one after that. So this is the old style. Out. This is the new style. And sorry, folks, can't answer your call. I'm on the radio. Now, this one here, La Russes Gastronomique, is kind of the culinary Bible of the world. Matter of fact, it's built like an encyclopedia. So you can go through here, and it doesn't just have the recipes for pretty much everything you can imagine. It has photos and also typically the history of it, right? So here, let me look at, here's a word. Mirliton. A puff pastry tartlet filled with almond cream and decorated with 3 almond halves arranged in the form of a star. Crisp petit four flavored, or a crisp petit four flavored with orange flower water, also called mirlitons. And then they have all the recipes for mirliton, all the traditional French recipes. This book was kind of the first update to the classic, which was which was the Escoffier. And this is good, but who wants to carry around a 400-pound cookbook here? And yeah, for any reason, you don't. And the photos are good. It's a bit dated though, but this is really the Bible, the culinary Bible. Okay, but today's modern cookbooks, they're sleek, they're lean, they're beautiful, and they cut right to the chase because no one wants to look through 4,000 French recipes to find out what you want. You want to go to a restaurant, you want to try the food and say, that was really good. And I wonder if that restaurant or that chef has a cookbook. And so you go and you buy it and you make the food. That's pretty much how the modern day works. I really find it interesting, the progression of cookbooks. I've looked at cookbooks from all generations. Probably the oldest book going back to the early 1800s. And a good friend of mine, Miles Uehara, who I hope is listening, he has a wonderful place called Kappa Sushi in San Diego County. He has a cookbook from the 1800s, which has a recipe which politically it's not correct, but I still want to make it. It's seal soup. Yeah, it's seal soup. It's a cookbook from it's a recipe from Nova Scotia. And it says, I think it takes, you fill a large pot with water and bring to a boil. It's 1 baby seal, skinned and cleaned and trimmed, and then boil the seal in the water. That's the whole recipe. Do I really want to make seal soup? No. But that's the recipe? Boil the seal in water? No further recipes? You don't take it out, pick it off, make a stew, add some veggies? No. Apparently, there was nothing else to eat. Nothing. Except seals. And nothing to add to that but water in Nova Scotia. Was it Nova Scotia? Nova Scotia might have been Newfoundland. Newfoundland, actually. But this is just 150. They couldn't even get salt water to boil it in? Really? Anyway, that's probably the most fascinating or disgusting recipe I've ever seen. But I want a copy of that so I can hang it in here. I think we need to find a place to put these iconic, bizarre recipes, which Doc and I used to research. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting, the progression of cookbooks and how we've come to rely on culinary, education the foodie lifestyle, not just rely on it, it's become kind of the core of our culture to some extent. I find it interesting, as a matter of fact, that last night, that's the whole point of the story, last night, the spelling bee, the Scripps National Spelling Bee last night, there were 7 co-winners because they ran out of words. They look out like they're maybe their ancestor, maybe from India, but they have 7 co-champions, and they had 562 that started, but I believe there were 73 of the words in the spelling bee were culinary terms. 73. And I don't know how many words in total were put out there. I'm looking to see. Yeah, so there are 8 co-champions. It doesn't say how many, but interesting that 73 were food. And of those, we have some common things like pate and goji, right? Goji berries, these superfoods, daikon radish, arborio, which is a rice, chia, which used to just be for growing pets or, remember the furry little chia pets? Sorghum, no big deal. But a lot of these are, I know most of them. There's only a few I don't know. But I was really surprised. 73 of these terms. 73. If 73 of the terms are part of the National Spelling Bee, right, then how important is the food culture? It's pretty important. Food Network, the most watched network per hour, per number of hours in each household, the most watched network. Crazy. 40 million Facebook followers. Absolutely nuts. Not only that, 40 million Facebook followers, over 51% of all magazines, food magazines sold in the United States, over 51% are that one single magazine, the Food Network monthly magazine. That's a huge influence. So, thinking about that, what do I want to talk about on this platform? What do I want to share? What do I want to teach? What do I want to do to inspire people? Well, I think that's how we're going to look forward in our new shows that are coming up, and how we, what shows we really bring into the mix later, and the shows that we have now. So, as you all know, my friend Mark Conway, who was one of our first contributors, he had one of the first shows on. He does a show daily. He's going to switch to a weekly show, however, and that weekly show is going to be the same show. It's still family meal, right? So. And the significance being that everyone here at Spoony, and hopefully our listeners, believe that the family meal should be a very important part of the family life as well as the restaurant life. Typically, again, I've spoken about this before, but in a restaurant, you have a meal before service, and it's called family meal. You sit down, you get to break bread with your fellow coworkers, and that's something we don't do at home a lot, which is a shame. I think that's a time when you can, those little family secrets, the gems of those intimate moments that you don't plan for really kind of fall into place and strengthen the bonds that we have with those that we love, or that we, are frustrated with, and it may be your children or your spouse. But that's one of the shows. We have some entertainment stuff coming up as well. So I don't know if you've heard of Food Sport, right? We've had WFC founder, the World Food Championships founder on here, Mike McLeod, and that's at 2,000 events, which lead to 2 separate events. One being 500 to 1,000 chefs that gather. They compete in 10 categories. Those 10 winners then 6 months later go to a single final table event and compete in several events where they go from 10 to 5, 5 to 3, and then the last 3 compete in the final event. And there's a winner. I believe the grand prize is $100,000. That's one way. And then there's also the Culinary Fight Club. That they have competitions in many cities around the country. Matter of fact, their first event is going to be this coming Tuesday in Frisco at Concrete Cowboy, where I'll be competing with Matt Locke as my bartender in the bite and sip competition. So the idea is to pair the perfect bite with the perfect drink and see what you come up with. It's a 1-hour event. There's 45 seconds to go to the common pantry that has 16 items in it, or 18 items, 4 chefs, 4 mixologist bartenders, and you can only bring in 3 ingredients of your own for the drink, for the cocktail, and for the food side. So that should be very interesting. I'm not. I don't have all the details on what the pantry includes, so I'm kind of limited right now on how I can plan for this. Plus, you have 4 chefs vying for the same ingredients because unlike the shows like Chopped, where you can grab the olive oil off another person's station, you can't do that on this. Whatever ingredient you take, you get the entire ingredient, container, package, bag, whatever it's in, and that stays on your station, and you are not allowed to exchange ingredients with the other contestants. So that should be very interesting. That's Tuesday night, 6 o'clock Central Time here in Frisco at Concrete Cowboy. That should be fun. We'll try to do a Facebook Live. I've asked Trey Chapman of Trey's Chowdown to come cover it. I know Brandon Anderson of is it Rack Attack or Attack the Rack? I think it's Rack Attack Barbecue. Brandon, I'm sorry, dude. Messing up your promotion there, but I think he's gonna come out and he's gonna be on the show on Tuesday. He's also gonna come out and watch the show and hopefully broadcast for us as well. I threw my hat in the ring. If I can talk the talk, I suppose I got to be able to walk the walk. So we will find out. I'm not a grind it out on the line kind of guy every day anymore, but I got a few tricks up my sleeve. But the trick on this one is you have 1 hour to compete, 45 seconds to run to the pantry. Then you have 1 hour to cook. You have to plate 4 plates with their paired beverage for the judges. And then you have to do 100 samples for the guests. And you have to cook all of that in the same hour. So now I gotta think about I had a strategy. Now I have to think about revising that because I'm not sure that I have the ability to plate 100 samples of what I want to do. I guess you actually there's samples you give them out after. You don't have to have those all plated, but cooked within that hour. So if you have any ideas, shoot your ideas to the Facebook page right now. I'm trying to get on there now, and let's see. I don't even know what page I'm on. Go to the home page. There we go. So again, cheer me on Facebook Live. 6 p.m. Central. That will be this coming Tuesday, the 4th. Then on the 6th, I believe I'm going to be traveling to Bentonville, Arkansas, possibly. I need to confirm with Chef Jeff Wetzel, but he has a plated dinner for 350 people, and it should be very exciting. Rick Perez, you tuned in, brother. What's up? Good to see you. All right, so I'm actually going to share this to my own page now because I never do before the show starts. Anyway, this next half hour, at the bottom of the hour, we have John Chervignac of his newly founded truck, which is not open yet. It's going to be called Chef Niak. Ha, 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 Chef Knack. John's last name is, my cell phone calls him, I think Siri calls him Chervignac. John Chervignac. It's John Chervignac. It's Chervanyak. He's from Bentonville, Arkansas. He's actually from Jersey. But we're going to talk a little food truck action, what he's got planned. He's also going to be calling in. He's got a new Chef Knack weekly segment starting next week. He's going to call in once a week with a 30-minute chef tip of the week. We'll talk a little food, a little fun, and we're gonna discuss that. And he's also going to talk about he has a consulting gig coming up in Houston. So we're going to talk about what it takes to be a consulting chef and how that differs from grinding it out, doing it day to day in the restaurants. And some of the stuff he's developing is really cool. These vegan dressings, shelf stable. I can't talk too much about it. I'm not sure what I can reveal about the company, but we will find out more when he calls in. Anyway, we got a minute and 20 seconds left. I'm going to try the beer. So Arrogant Bastard. If you have not had this, it has a little coffee on the nose, a little caramel. It's an ale, but it's a little on the darker side. It has an IPA finish, nice and hoppy. And in the front, it's a little bit almost like a light porter. It's actually not bad. Not a really full-bodied flavor all the way throughout. It's good. All right, anyway, that's Arrogant Bastard Ale. Apparently you're not worthy, and neither am I. That's what it's telling me right there. So, all right. First course done. The appetizer digested. We're coming up next. Soup and salad. Second course of the day. John Chervignac calling in. Matter of fact, I need to share the number with him. Come back. We have a 2-minute break coming up. And if you have any questions, you have any input, what I should prepare for the culinary food, what is it? The CFC. It's the food fight coming up Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Concrete Cowboy in Frisco. If you're in the area, you can go to culinaryfightclub.com, purchase your tickets. I believe it's $25, but $5 I believe becomes I can get you a $5 discount. I'll share the code with that, and that money goes to help feed children. So take a break, 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All-American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
And welcome back, listener. Chef Patrick Mosher, Food Biz Pro here. We are back for the second segment of the day. Let's see if John is on the line. And there he is, John Chervignac. Can you hear me now? Oh, there you go. John, you there? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Nope. Let me see. Hold on a second, John. Let me see if we had the same problem yesterday. Ron, can you hear me? Ronaldinho. Anyway, hey, I can hear you, Jeff. Hold on one second. I'm going to mute you again real quick. I can't hear you, so I'm going to have him probably reset the phones for me. Anyway, so John will be calling back in just 1 second. Can't hear caller. There we go. Anyway, John's got lots to talk about. He hung up. He'll call back in a minute. Let me, I don't know if I can reset these. So, we're going to try this again. Yesterday, we had some issues with the phone line, and, well, I'm not sure what's happening, but, yes. So I just, I was talking about culinary food. See, that's what, my bad. Is that select button up there? Yeah, doesn't matter. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. All right. Well, let me get John back on the phone. There he is. All right. And we have a caller. Who's our next winner?
Is it me?
Hey, John, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
All right. I'm glad we can hear each other now.
Yes, exactly. So, sorry, I had a cough there. So Ron is running the show next door. My regular producer, Jeff, is actually not in studio. He's not back until, well, he had to take the day off. He had to take his spouse to a chiropractor. She had some issues going on. So anyway, I started the show by myself, and I'm trying to run stuff from inside the booth. It doesn't work very well. So, what's up, brother? How is Northwest Arkansas? Did the tornadoes touch down on Wednesday?
I was not in the area. I hear that there were some spots here and there, but I'm not sure about any significant damage.
Well, that's good. That's good. So, Man, I heard you got a new gig, right? You got a big little big consulting gig coming up in Houston. I don't know how much you can say about it, but that's exciting.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's exciting. Can't
Okay,
really
wait.
be too elaborate on.
Okay, so here's
Go
the fun.
ahead.
I was like, that's exciting. You're like, yeah, well, that's exciting. I'm like, okay, A, I didn't sound extremely enthusiastic, and B, you made me sound very enthusiastic.
I didn't sell it, did I?
Nah, I don't think I did a good job either. I think we're both a little remiss at our job there. I mean, that's kind of what I do for a living is sell the dream on the air, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, all right, let's take two. I'll try it again.
Yeah. So John, man, I heard you got this exciting new gig coming up in Houston. You got some consulting coming on. Tell me about that. That was better.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing opportunity in the field of product development.
Yeah.
So,
I know. I actually. So that's all you can say about that. So awesome. That's a cool gig. Yeah. I know there are going to be some you're working on some shelf stable products, right?
Yes, shelf stable products that you put on salads and marinades and stuff like that.
And are these of a special sort? Are they for special any special segment? Or are they just kind of trying to fill a void, trying to compete in the big market?
They're for the more healthy for you segment. So
Awesome.
They're going to be with different additives for health and wellness, and along with the flavors that people love, like ranch dressing and Italian and all those happy things that people love to put on salad. Those are pretty much the top two selling. So
yeah. Well,
you work around that, and
so basically, this is not just a gluten-free whatever dressing. This is more of a gourmet line of dressings and marinades, but functional. So they're functional foods, right? Which have whatever the additional healthful ingredients you may be adding. That's awesome.
And trend flavors.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
So they're on trend flavors that people are looking for now, and on trend, health benefits. So we'll see what hopefully I can elaborate, on more once the product is on the shelf.
Of course, yeah. Well, we don't want to give it away before you give it away or start selling it, because otherwise people steal the idea. Sure. And first to market usually wins on that kind of stuff. But I have to tell you, this functional food market has crossed over into the beverage side as well. I don't know if you've seen it, but they have like beers that are now being fused with ginger and turmeric and all this kind of stuff. And there's a really fun project I'm working on in LA with some people that have been assisting me in just programming, mentoring me as far as learning how to gain reach and branding. And they're basically it's a line of functional beers, because I don't know if you've had any of the gluten-free organic kind of what they want to call functional beverages beer on the market right now, but
I haven't myself yet, so now I'm going to have to.
They're not good. They aren't good at all. As a matter of fact, that's part of the reason they're getting into this game. And what's cool about it is they've made these small batches so far. They've made, I think, 15 or 16 different attempts for different flavor profiles and styles. And every one has been as good or sometimes better than even some of the more mass or larger reaching microbrews that are out there. So kudos to them. Their master brewer is doing a great job, and I really can't wait to I'm going to be going to LA to do some consulting with them in a week or two or maybe 3. But A, I can't wait to try all of them, and B, to help them get the funding in place and launch this product. It's going to be real fun. So there's
learn what you can, because I want you to mentor me, because I saw somebody doing micro independent sake. It was amazing.
Where are they doing that?
It was in, I think it was California.
Really?
It was this couple they lived in Japan, and they couldn't find the top shelf sake over here, and if it was so pricey, so they teamed up with the rice farmers around the area. They're buying their rice locally. So I'm thinking, hey, Arkansas, we got rice. So Patrick, you need to mentor me in this.
No, so here's the cool thing is, this is a huge market, right? Because you've had the health trends going on forever. let's give a little background. I mean, John, you've been a chef for how long now? You about as long as I have, about 30 years almost.
Yeah, 30 years. I've been
plus. Yeah. In the business.
Oh no, it's probably 40. Yeah, in the business over 40-something years.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. No, I'm just joking. I mean, you grounded.
I'm a lifer.
Yeah, me too. Just fortunately not on the other side of the bars, right? The wrong kind of bars. But yeah, so
that's why along with the consultant gig, I got this new food truck I got up and running. So,
I know. Well, we're going to talk about your evolution here in a second.
Multiple ideas.
Because
you got to diversify.
As much as we love grinding it out in restaurants, we both kind of went different ways from that. And you went into R&D, developing products for was it club services for a long time, and you were responsible for pretty much. You guys replaced everything in Sam's for a long time. Anything that needed any sort of R&D development or assistance on the development and then sales side everybody came to you. Matter of fact, that shrimp product you had, those frozen shrimp that you were and other sauces that you were making, unbelievable. I need to come back up there and get whatever you have left. I know you're not there anymore, but you're doing your own thing, which is awesome. And
yeah, well, I should contact them. They need help.
Oh, do they really? Oh, cool. There you go.
Yeah. So I can reach out to them now.
But I mean, you worked with everybody from like who are the guys that you were doing they had the wild boar, right? Or the boar chili. Wasn't that what it was? What was that product?
The guys.
Oh, I'm sorry, I lost you for a sec. Who were they again?
That was the Duck Dynasty.
That's right. Because they had the Duck Dynasty, and then they had the other line of stuff that they had as well.
Yeah, it was one of some of their stuff that we were trying to spin into Walmart at the time, and none of that had any traction, unfortunately. But
cool products,
now actually you can buy all of that stuff in the stores. So it was like ahead of the time that we were trying to do it, but now a lot of the other stores have wild boar and interesting items like that now.
Well, and how many times have you been ahead of the market?
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah, me too. I think
that's the hard part.
Almost every concept that I've worked on over, so my consulting partner Jeffrey Klein and I have probably had, 15 or 16 restaurant ideas. We had a concept for Aspen. We were going to put this culinary display, this beautiful display kitchen in where the old Flying Dog Brewery was in Aspen. It's kind of down in this kind of, it's like a half level below ground where the entryway is, this big concrete entryway. Anyway, that was a beautiful space. We had it all designed, and what was going to happen is the chefs were going to rotate through seasonally. They'd come through for maybe a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, depending on their schedule. They'd come in and they'd basically be the chef for a week or a month. And we had it all lined out with these chefs in place, and we had about a third of the money together. This was about 10 or 12 years ago, and then we couldn't get the rest of the funding. And if you look now, California has these restaurants are all over the place. There's like several in Orange County alone. There's some in down in Manhattan Beach in California, Central Los Angeles. They have
one in Little Rock.
Yep, they have them all. Yeah, they have them all over the East Coast. I mean, Little Rock could do it, but we couldn't do it in Aspen, 12 years ago. But now, 8 years ago is when they started doing this. So we're ahead of the curve that time. I helped to actually start up with Dr. Stephen Hollingshead. It was called BringDinnerHome.com, one of the very first meal kit delivery services. And but we didn't mail anything. But that was one of the very first ones that launched in 2001. Never got. Yeah, well, here's the thing. The internet was all dial-up then, and it was a super heavy, graphics heavy website. So everybody was on dial-up. Mm-hmm. We didn't think about that, so it took like 20 minutes for the pages to load. And so they got frustrated. They just call in their orders to us, and we didn't have staff for that. So I ended up taking orders at 10 o'clock at night. Production started at 11 when the website shut down for orders. So I would, instead of being able to start my prep and start lining out for production, I'd spend the last hour and a half taking phone calls, basically, being an order taker, and we didn't understand the limitations of technology at that time. So it didn't fail, but we had pushed it back far enough, and he went off to other projects. But there's that. I can't even tell you how many ideas I've come up that we've launched, and Anyway, the time is now, Chef Knack.
Yes. Well, I'm still too something with the technology. I'm too far behind in the technology. I can't swim in that pool.
Well,
all the Instagram and all that stuff that you're doing. I'm not good at that.
Actually, I'm not good at Instagram at all. So what I did is I actually had a call yesterday, and with a gentleman who is going to be managing my Instagram. He's going to do he's going to be doing my engagement portion of it, which means I'll do the post, and then he'll optimize that. So what he does, and I can tell you about this. This is kind of interesting because if you're in the industry, any industry, and you want to gain reach on Instagram, this guy only specializes in that. They basically find other people that in the realm that you're in that have a huge following, and they start seeing how their engagement works. They follow them for a while, they interact, and then they look and see what the reaction is. And he basically has it's an algorithm and a spreadsheet, and it's pretty crazy stuff, but it's very inexpensive. And I mean, a lot of people get 60 to 100 followers a day through using those services. It's pretty cool. Well, we'll find out if I'm able to afford his services, because we have a call early next week. He's going to do some evaluation Saturday, and then see what happens. So, but it's $20 an hour for like 2 hours a week, really. That's worth it for me.
Well, do what you do best. Pay for the rest.
Hey, you know what? It's like hire once, hire right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I have this talk all the time with people like, oh, I lost my business. I just didn't like to do the books. I'm not good at math. So what are those things you're not good at? Because whatever people say they're not good at, it's something they don't like to do. Right? It's not necessarily something they're not good at. At some point, they got a distaste for it. They had no good mentor. A teacher told them they were too stupid to learn math. They didn't have the right platform or method to teach them. And so you end up saying,
in my case, it's just lazy.
I don't think that. I've seen you work. There's no doubt in my mind. So, John, in addition to all the wonderful things that he does for clients and this new food truck you're going to have coming up with Chef Nyak, Nyak, by the way, and the new segment you're going to be doing on Spoony Radio, you spend an awful lot of hours with the care in the Bentonville Rogers area, and I don't even know how many hours a week or month or year you spend there. It's more than a full-time job for you running their pantry, their food pantry, and teaching lessons to those less fortunate than a lot of us. But dude, you're a busy man, and you find time to fish.
You gotta fit the smelling of the roses in your life. So whatever your roses are, mine's fishing. Everybody's got to take time to center themselves. Everybody should take time to center themselves in life.
Well, I mean, it is. Are you still on the lake, or did you? Oh, you moved off the lake, didn't you?
Oh yeah. No, we didn't move. We threaten every now and then to move to be able to buy two houses instead of just maintaining this one.
Well, it's
one on the Gulf Coast and one in Arkansas would be okay, but it's hard to leave once you open up the doors or look out the window. So, well,
it doesn't suck that it's less than a 2 or 3 minute walk to your boat. It's a beautiful
20-minute walk up though.
Yeah, well, yes, that's true. But
depending on how long you spend on the lake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yes, consumption may have something to do with it as well.
This area, this Northwest Arkansas area, is beautiful. The scenery, the things to do, the outdoor life. I mean, we have more bicycle trails in the woods than Colorado does now.
I know, it's crazy. It's there's so much to do there. When I was there, I hit maybe a tenth of the trails that were there, at both mountain bike and road biking. What the what some of the people up there, particularly the Walton family and their foundation, have done to, specifically Tom and Stuart, because they're big, cyclists.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what they've done for that area in development. It's funny because every show I do sounds like an infomercial for Bentonville or Northwest Arkansas in general. But I have to tell you, I've lived all over the country.
You're gonna cut that part out, right? Because we don't want it to get too populated. We'll edit that out, right?
Well, I think people that's funny. I think they get kind of tone deaf to that because they're like, "What, did you get paid by Walmart?" I don't. I'm just telling you, I love that area. It was the easiest place that I'd ever moved to live. Everyone's accepted
even before they did anything out here. We've been out here since '93, and once we came here, we're like, wow, this is a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, and like I said, solid people. Everyone is very welcoming there. They really are.
Yeah, they are.
It's a beautiful area, and go ahead.
And there again, that's a big community area for the nonprofit world, And so, like, back to that in a nutshell, Care Community Center, we really don't have any of the corporate backing. So everything we do is volunteer based. That's why, once a week, I go in and take the rounds of picking up from we go into Missouri and pick up stuff, and from Missouri pretty much down to Fayetteville through like Walmarts and other stores like Aikens and Aldi's, Fresh Market. They all donate to us 2 or 3 times a week. So does actually Come and Go gas station donates twice a week. And then the people could come into our pantry and get all of these items in the shopping cart that we give them, and they could come in twice a month. And it's a pretty full shopping cart of stuff, and a lot of it's, pretty great things. And, we appreciate all the community help that we get.
Well, not only that, I mean, you do a lot of stuff like they have the big, what is it, the 10K or half marathon up there. The equipment gets used to feed the people for that race. I remember cooking with you a couple of years ago for that.
We're actually changing that. We're going to move it to October and do a bicycle event in Bentonville with some of the. Hopefully now it'll all come through. So I've been trying to get a bicycle event instead of running in a while because of people that like bicycling around here.
Well, they really do. And there's they have the big event up there, the Slaughter Pen Jam, which takes place right there. Yeah, just right there on the Bella Vista Bentonville border. And telling you that is
they moved that now. I think they moved it down to Springdale or Fayetteville because I think in 2021 there's going to be a big world bicycle event down there in Fayetteville.
Really? Wow, that's
and then they have what they call it, a push track. Have you ever heard of that? Where it's like one gear and then they like push on, like it's weird. But they have like a professional push track that Red Bull had an event down here in Springdale. I mean, it's going nuts.
Well, I've never seen push track, but
I see these little kids jumping in. I'm going, oh my gosh, I couldn't even do that.
Well, I used to race cross, that it's like a 10 speed, but really it has knobby tires on it, right? It's like a road bike.
Right.
But I've never push track. I don't know what that is. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, it's basically you ride through mud and over rocks, and it's a mix of road and trail. And so when you get to a point where you can't ride because it's skinny tires, so if you're going uphill on dirt, you can't ride, or uphill over rocks. So you have to carry the bike over obstacles or up the hill and hopefully ride down.
Yeah.
And so that was one of my favorite things to do because it was the best of both worlds. You got to do both road and mountain biking at the same time in the same race. But it's a little hairy. And man, I don't know how many people I've seen.
Mix a little bit of that obstacle course in there too,
Exactly. So, but all that combined, I mean, again, the region's just such a cool region. Great fishing. You've got all sorts of, well, look, you've got great food up there too, right? Think about.
I was gonna segue into that too. You beat me to it, but yeah, that's what, because of all of this growth and everything. The food scene's booming. The food trucks are going nuts. The restaurant quality's getting better. I mean, fairs and festivals are growing, and food trucks are coming in and doing those. It's pretty neat.
Exactly. It is a very cool area. You know, I mean, is it Chef Mario? He's the chef for Tyson. I mean, he was going to do three concepts right there on the square. I know that the first one didn't work out, but it was a fantastic concept, kind of a molecular gastronomy, small plate, really fancy little place right there on the square.
What it would be nice to have a handful of money.
I know, wouldn't it? Yeah, and he had some big backers on that one. We had actually spoken about doing like a Nobu style sushi place up there, kind of a high end sushi. And I know Barry, as a matter of fact, from Blue Fresh Fish Marketplace, our buddy over there, he's opening a place right there, just 1/2 block off the square, I think, right across from the 21C Hotel, right? He's under construction now. I need to give him a call because he has not been calling in with a weekly seafood food report in quite a while. So I need to call him out on that. Yeah, it's okay. I'll forgive him.
Give his number out and have the people call him and say, "Hey Barry, call in."
What I should do is I should have them all start emailing the website. It's and Allie, his wonderful wife Allie, will get those emails and say, "Why are you not calling in?" Because she runs the show. We all know that. But so he's got that going.
Email say, "Man, Allie, make it happen."
Yeah, exactly. And then they had Big Mike was in there. He was a chef at what was the place used to be a coffee shop, but now it's run by the
Press Room.
Press Room, that's right. So Press Room used to be just a little coffee shop, sandwich place, soups, and they had a killer burger. But they made that into I'll tell you, I really love the design of that restaurant with a square bar in the middle, a rectangular bar, that nice kind of low and a mix of high and low and community seating. Their food has always been solid. One of my favorite things that when he was there, the opening chef, right? So the menu had a pickled, a pickle of fermentations. I mean, a plate of fermented. One more time, Patrick, in English. He did it. There was a Korean fermented plate, basically, and they had house-made kimchi, house-made pickled, all sorts of vegetables. But each item was pickled in a different way, either savory, sweet, spicy, Japanese style, Korean style, typical white vinegar American style. It was actually very, very good.
Hot brine, cold brine. Yeah.
Exactly. I know he has a food truck now, doesn't he? I haven't been there, but I'll have to check it out.
He's got a food truck, and rumor has it he's going to be opening up a pizza place in Rogers. But
really?
That's rumor has it.
Hey, rumor has it I was going to open 2 restaurants up there, but no.
I don't know him personally, so we only kind of knew each other when he ran the press room, and I would come in and chat with him. But
yeah, I don't even know who's chef there now. But they always had some solid food there. I really enjoyed the food. And then you have Matt. Yeah. Well, you have Matt McClure, who's a 3-time nominee for Best Chef South for the James Beard Award. He's been a semifinalist, I think, 3 times now. He's not even 30 yet. 21C. That's the Hive, right? Isn't that the restaurant behind the bar?
Yep, the Hive. Yep.
I had it was this veal chop that was like milk poached. I'll tell you, it was sous vide. I could tell it was sous vide cooked, right, low and slow. Right. But then, oh my God, it was one of the best. As far as veals goes, I mean, scallopini is my favorite, but that was the best chop I've ever had. He does a great job and beautiful presentation. Very talented chef. Then we got Matt, right? You got Chef Matt over there at Preacher's Son, right? Yeah. He's still there.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if you've heard of Eclectic Kitchen in Fayetteville yet. But
no, I got to look that up.
That's the new buzz. My buddy Brian Evans, he was the chef when I was he hired me at the Blessings Country Club.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked under him, and then, eventually now he's got his own. He went the corporate route, worked for a big corporation, Compass, and then realized after 6-7 years that, oh boy, I want to be home. Then he took the leap and opened up the place, and he's got a good concept where you could go in and you can get a Philly cheesesteak if you want, or you can get dry scallops and shrimp from Washington or oysters from Washington State or Canada or.
No, that's awesome, man.
He has
so like
prime center cut strip steak, New York strip steaks and stuff. I mean, it's like it's crazy,
And you said that's
truffle fries or.
Well, what's the name of the restaurant again? Eclectic Kitchen.
Yeah, Eclectic Kitchen in Fayetteville.
Awesome. That's right there. So that's got to be.
It's.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's right on Garland. It was an old taco. It's right next to a taco thing. It's like it's a standalone building, but it's in a strip mall. It's weird. It's on Garland where Weddington and Garland is it Garland? 112 and Weddington.
Okay. Again, when I get up there, I have to check it out. There's so much stuff to try in the area. Hey, John, I know you've got a lot to. Can you hang on for another segment? I have a question. A couple questions for you. Some of it's regarding the spelling bee last night. There were 73 of the terms, 73 of the words used last night were culinary terms. 73. That's
awesome.
I know. And so I want to see, there was only a couple I didn't know. All right. And that's because I read this damn culinary term book right here, the Food Lover's Companion. So when we come back, I want to ask you a couple and see if you can spell them, because there were a couple I couldn't spell. I knew the answer to. I knew the definition. But
well, I can tell you right now, I'm not gonna spell any of them right.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple you get right. Anyway, we'll be right back in about 4 minutes. We'll be back on the side of the break. John, thanks for holding over. And hey, take a break. Don't go away. Don't forget, you got a listener star, Chef Patrick. I'll be right back.
This is the only 24-hour take-anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Vice President Mike Pence says President Trump is committed to stopping the flow of illegal immigration at the U.S.-Mexico border.
The president's absolutely determined to use the authorities that he has as president to call on the Congress and to call on Mexico to do more to address this humanitarian crisis at our southern border.
The president says he will impose tariffs starting at 5% and increasing incrementally if Mexico does not convince him that it's doing more against illegal immigration. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders tells reporters Mexico should not be surprised.
We've been giving them advance warning for months. We've asked them repeatedly and told them they have to do more.
On Wall Street, there's a major sell-off of companies that do business in Mexico and also companies that supply companies that do business in Mexico. Stocks are sharply lower. The special counsel's reservations aside, Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler says Robert Mueller will be called to testify in public.
Nadler telling a New York radio station it's important that Mueller answer questions on television, even if there's no new information. Mueller said earlier this week his 448-page report was his testimony and that he wouldn't provide information beyond what is already public in any appearance before Congress. But Nadler says since most people won't read the report and that William Barr is, in his words, lying about what's in it, it's important that the public hear directly from Mueller.
Capitol Hill correspondent Wally Hines. Also at townhall.com, northeastern Oklahoma residents forced from their homes by flooding along the turbulent Arkansas River are making plans to return. The river's level at Tulsa has dropped almost 4 feet from Wednesday's crest and will continue to recede. Stocks remain in the red. The Dow is down 244 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
Funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone. RIDUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boosts your metabolism, so you're burning more.
Yeah,
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. Riduzone.com. RIDUzone.com.
Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. Eric, we've been seeing Mojo guys over there and over here at Spoony talk about Atrantil for bloating. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
You're exactly right. The polyphenols are those molecules that we find in the Mediterranean diet. It makes vegetables and fruits very colorful. What are some of the things that these polyphenols polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can actually stop inflammation. They can help you have more energy. They can help you with anti-aging. And polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Tell me how everybody should be taking Atrantil.
If you want to dose Atrantil, it's 2 capsules 3 times a day, basically with your meals. But if you aren't bloated and you just want that polyphenol intake every day, 2 to 3 capsules a day will work for you.
Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
And welcome back, Spoony listeners. Looks like, so let's see if John's still on the line. Looks like I have another, let's see. Let me update this real quick. Hold on one sec, John. I'll unmute you. All right. John, you there?
Yes, I am.
Woohoo! All right. Let's see. So I just, we're on the line again. Okay, well, folks, I can't be on that call right now. I'm live on the radio, so I'm missing a call. I'm on my show and can't, I just not smart enough to listen in one ear to 2 things.
That's right.
Yeah, no, so this is a call about the Culinary Fight Club on Tuesday night, which I'm going to ask your advice, man.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We talked about that a little before, but until 3 Central. Sorry. They said, can I be on at 3 Central? I said yes, and sorry, can't be on. All right, so I'll figure out the details later. So I did have a question I wanted to ask you. You've got this food truck thing coming up. I say that, I don't say that lightly, not a food truck thing, because this is not just an ordinary food truck, right? This is a monster. How long did you say that thing is?
From the back door to the front hitch, it's 28 foot.
That's all, huh? Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's 28 foot. Yeah.
So, all that, then, you,
and the height, it's.
Yeah, because how tall, John, you're tall.
It's got to be 16 foot.
How tall are you?
Yeah, I'm 6'4.5", 6'4.5".
Okay. It's because I remember when they built the new facility for Club Services, you were very upset because the hood was so low that you would bang your head on it, and you had specifically wanted something a little higher, because that's a common issue for chefs in any kitchen. Doesn't matter if it's food truck or not, but you were very specific in wanting a truck that was tall enough for you to stand up in, and I didn't think you're ever going to find one, and you bought this bad boy. So,
yeah, I kind of lucked out on it because it was sitting for almost 4 years with nobody doing anything with it. So
nice. Well, lucky for you anyway. Unfortunate for the previous owners. So, Chef Knack, what are you going to do in that truck? What are you going to do with that? What are you going to be serving?
Well, I'm going to do. I'm going to have a multiple of ideas and see what kind of sticks. I'm going to do some festivals, but that entails a lot of upfront costs, and sometimes the cost is expensive. Like I actually was going to do. I got asked to do Rocklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big event in Oklahoma. With, Disturbed is one of the lead acts in it. They do 80,000 people.
Ooh.
But at this point, I'm not ready because I was like, great, I'll do it. I'm going to have my supplier resupply me, but they wouldn't let either me go out of the event or them come in. And when I asked, well, how do these other people do it? They say they bring their own reefer truck. So I wasn't at the point now where I could get my reefer truck in there or work that with the supplier at the time, quick as I needed to get it done to be in the event. And something like that's $3,000 to get in.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, because what they just parked
80,000 people, it's worth it.
Yeah, no, I mean, and how many trucks are they limited to as far as the event? or vendors, other food vendors?
I didn't care if I was going to do it. I didn't get a number. I didn't ask, but I would imagine that they probably have anywhere from 15 to 25.
Yeah, because an event that large,
you'd have to have a good amount of people.
Yeah, I mean you'd have to park just the trailer portion of the truck
because it's on 400 acres or something, so they scatter them.
Gotcha, multi-stages and multiple stages, all that kind of stuff. That sounds like fun. So you try and get ready for next year then?
Yeah, I would like to do that, but you got to make sure you got help to take with you that you trust, because you don't want to hire somebody local that, not that local help's bad, but you need somebody handling your money.
Exactly. Yeah.
And trust those people.
Yeah.
But yeah, then set up local here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of events locally that I can do. And then there's where Care Community is. There's a big parking lot. It's right next to the Indian Motorcycle Shop. So during Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, I'm going to set up over there.
Nice.
And I might set up and try to get a little franchise business growing. It's going to be, I don't want to say too much about it right now, but it's going to be drinks that are caffeine orientated,
mm-hmm.
and not necessarily coffee.
Gotcha. Okay. Enough said.
And food. Yeah, and food. So it'll be like, you go get a drink and food, because a lot of people drink coffee for caffeine, and if there was other choices out there,
mm-hmm.
then maybe they wouldn't drink just coffee.
No, I agree. As a matter of fact,
or tea. I mean, it's something.
Yeah, I mean, I try to shy away from caffeine. Lately, I've been having like a half a cup a day, just because I don't need to be running any faster than I already run every day. So I try to shy away from it. But that's really, I like coffee, but I love teas and other beverages. And there's things like maca and things like that are awesome replacements for that. So yeah, I'm curious to see what happens and how that turns out. But I mean, if you had,
there you go. Here's like a foodie way to go now. Okay, so you like teas, so then you can experiment with different dried mushrooms, dried berries.
Yep, exactly.
Other things that you can start to maybe incorporate help, like almost word I'm thinking about, preventative medicine.
Mm-hmm. So can I tell you, there's this awesome company. Yeah, no. So again, not just preventive medicine, but functional beverages, right? Like I talked about before. Yeah. Functional food, functional beverages,
like sage.
Exactly.
Like sage is is an antifungal. So if you got like foot fungus or something like that, you make a sage tea and you soak your feet in it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you have things like thyme oil is really good for sore throat and upper respiratory infections, right?
Rosemary is a preservative.
Exactly. Garlic. Well, garlic is like one of the best antibiotics you can have. Not only that, it's also
antiviral, antifungal, and antiseptic. It's all three things. It'll raise your blood pressure or lower your blood pressure depending on what you want or depending on what your body needs.
It's the coolest thing, and it also that and onion also they clean the blood, right? They kind of scour they help filter the blood. It's amazing what you can do to heal your body with food. And I know that you
dandelions, the darker greens.
I used to use dandelion greens in salads all the time.
Yeah, dandelion greens is really good for your body. It's healthy. Pureed cabbage juice is for ulcers. I mean, there's a lot of, remedies or things you can use food with.
Yeah, I mean, it is amazing. There's as a matter of fact, there's a great product that one of our sponsors, Atrantil, the Dr. Brown, he has a show in here called the Gut Check Project. He's a pretty renowned gastroenterologist, and they as a GI doctor, for years and years and years, you practice, right? Although you're trying to find, you're doing your own research and you're studying other articles. But now that they've really determined that about 90% of your health really comes from a healthy gut, a good biome, then he developed this product called Atrantil. And it's basically a bunch of phytonutrients that are both prebiotic and probiotic. But Anyway, you can go to lovemytummy.com, check it out. It's lovemytummy.com/Spoony. You get a 10% discount, I believe. They're great people. They have a wonderful show on Thursdays. It's really something interesting because we've had discussions on here, everything from CBD to CBD, THC, stem cell injections, like the ones that actually work. One of the primary researchers, he was a trauma surgeon in the field.
Yeah, they're not covered under insurance at this point now, because I was going to get those in my knee.
Okay, well, let me talk to you about that, because if you don't go to one of the right clinics, then because a lot of them stem cells, they have to be from they have to be maternal stem cells, right, from the umbilical cord. Otherwise, anyway. So there are specific uses for specific cells, but embryonic actually don't work. So all the hype about they're using embryos, no, not really, it doesn't work. So anyway, it's a great topic, great talk. They've had experts on pretty much a ton of other health topics, but world-renowned people. It's really fun. They're very entertaining, and they do their own research. So they have people to do research for them, but then they vet that research, and instead of using other people's studies on their own, they actually expand upon those studies and add their own research too, which is very cool to validate and validify. So just a really cool show. Really yeah. And I had a question for you, because what your favorite food to cook is Italian, right?
Oh, I can't say that. When people ask me that question, I tell them my favorite thing to cook is sauces.
My favorite thing to cook is whatever I'm cooking at that moment. But if I had to pick one thing, yeah.
Because my attitude is like, a piece of whatever meat or chicken, and is mostly plain unless you put a sauce on it. Whether it be like, in my eyes, like a dry rub. That's kind of a sauce. Like something that's going to accent the food.
Well, that's it's funny because I just went through at the very beginning of the show, I went through the Escoffier's brigade system, right? I had some other content lined up, but I was just looking at these cookbooks stacked here. I was looking at these new, colorful, very specific cookbooks that cover one chef's experiences or their flair in one restaurant, their flavor, right? And then I went back. I looked at LaRusso's Gastronomique, and I'm looking at the old Escoffier's cookbook, and how complicated it is, but really the creation of that particular station in a kitchen, the saucier, right, the person that makes the sauces, I think was the biggest development in culinary history when it comes to food and flavor overall, because you can take the most mediocre of proteins, not bad, but the most mediocre of proteins, and make that bite amazing with the right sauce. You're absolutely right.
Right. You could take a $2 piece of meat, make it taste like a $20 piece of meat.
Yes, or sell it for $20. My buddy.
But you're going to have to cook it correctly. I mean, you just can't pan-sear that $2 piece of meat. You got to have to slow cook it, and
Yeah, it's.
That's some of the things I teach at the classes is. Because I watched cooking shows my whole life, and I kind of much stopped because they really aren't teaching people anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're showing them what that particular person can do. And so when I'm teaching people, I teach people to think about flavors they've tasted before, the textures in their minds, and look at food differently in flavors and textures as opposed to just protein.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so if people don't, if you're just joining in, this is John Cheverniak, R&D chef, just a badass culinarian altogether. But John also has a food truck. He's right in the midst of bringing to market called Chef Nyak. That's Nyak. It'll be based out of Bentonville, but it'll travel around the region. And he's also he runs the food pantry at CARE, which is in Rogers, Arkansas, which is a great service to the community. And I'm telling you, your food pantry is one of the best I've seen. That's amazing. Your classes, what you do there and what you teach, again, I think it's underrated the service that we as chefs can do for the community. And I'll tell you, I really appreciate the approach you take in teaching, not just showing, because it means a lot.
Well, yeah. Well, and also some of these young people, they're usually it's heartfelt when I pull out a peeler and somebody in the class says, "What is that?" So that means that they've never seen anybody peel a carrot before or peel any fresh vegetables. So right off the bat, first thing I did was call her up and have her use it, learn how to use it. And then that's another thing is you got to have hands-on experience. And one thing you learn, it took me a little bit to learn, is patience. You just can't grab that knife and show them, oh, look at how pretty I can do it. You let them struggle for a half hour. You let everybody enjoy themselves, and then you can flare off and say, well, let me show you how it could be done. Well, you put a lot of years and time in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and not only
you kind of let them make mistakes.
Yeah, and that's part of the maturation project, right? So process. If you don't, you can teach other people not to make the same mistakes that you've made, right? But to mature, you have to learn from making mistakes. You can apply the knowledge you've learned from someone else, but you don't really mature by not making mistakes. You make mistakes, you grow from that, and go forward. But I used to work with the boys' country and girls' country in Northwest Houston, and what I would do is these were children that lived with families. They were placed basically there. I don't know how many homes on each property, but they would live with families there. And these were children that didn't have their wards of the state, so to speak, and. But we would go to the grocery store and we'd walk through the produce section a lot because nobody knows what to do. And this is something I'd like to do here. Maybe I could work with there's a community food bank right down the street. Actually, it's the North Tarrant County Food Bank. We've had the chef in here on a show a couple weeks ago, and I'd love to go in. But instead of just being a food bank, again, they teach a lot of classes there. But taking someone to the supermarket, walking them through the fresh produce section and saying, okay, this is a carrot, and here are all the wonderful things you can do about it, with it, how to use it. And then
I do that exact thing.
I know you.
But what I do is I'll take them to a couple different stores. So you walk into like a big chain grocery store. I won't mention any names, but it rhymes with Mart. And show them what a unripened pineapple looks like, because that specific market looks at things and says they're selling it to somebody who's going to take it home and leave it on the shelf for 11 to 20 days to ripen. Mm-hmm. Where if you go to a Hispanic market or an Asian market, they're going to have ripe produce that are ready to eat and what you're looking for. So when I take them and show them and say, listen, you buy the 98 cents, pineapple, but you don't eat it until it looks like this pineapple.
Exactly. Well, and there's an Asian market.
If they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, if people don't, it's like with anything. If you don't know what a ripe thing is supposed to look like or taste like, then you won't really know it's ripe.
No, exactly.
Except like with food, though, same thing.
Yeah, and so another thing that's very very cool about that is when you go to those other markets, right? Like the Asian markets or the Hispanic markets, you see product you're not normally used to seeing, and you can gain a reference point, kind of a better reference as to how ingredients that look the same or to even taste the exact same ingredient are used differently in other cultures. It's just such a fun experience when you walk into an Asian market and you see lychees or lychees fresh, right? And they're still in their that husk, and people
husk.
And people are like, what is that? You're like, oh, here, let's break one open. You can see it, and then you show them in the can on the shelf, and like, oh, those things you get in the Chinese restaurant after a meal. Right? Or they used to anyway. They don't really do it anymore. But it's just it's a great thing to walk through a store with a child especially and talk about the products, especially in the produce fresh sections, and just have see their eyes kind of grow out of wonder of, I don't know. It's a great thing to share. And even more so, though, with an adult that has never really learned to cook and opening their eyes to the possibilities of shopping fresh instead of buying fast food and learning.
Yeah. And another thing is what I teach them is like, so if we're in the Asian market and like if somebody is buying fish, I'm going to ask that person, what are they going to do with the fish?
Mm-hmm.
So I learn, how they do it. The class hears it, and I tell them, listen, people love to talk about food. So if you're at this Asian supermarket and you don't know what something is, ask the ladies in the produce to ask somebody. They'll tell you what it is. They'll let you taste it. They want you to come back and buy something.
Exactly. No, they will.
Same thing with the Mexican market. You see that meat and just say, what is that? They'll tell you what they do with it, how they use it, So don't be shy to ask questions.
Well, and that's another thing is people don't. We're hesitant, right? Nobody wants to look stupid. People say this is a stupid question, but no, there are no stupid questions. You can present any question in a stupid manner, right? You can and we all do that. But really, when it comes to food,
stupid questions unasked.
Yeah, exactly. That's like, oh man, I wasted that opportunity. No, you didn't waste it. You missed it, and somebody else took advantage. Right, so it didn't get wasted. Right. Somebody else got the opportunity. But that it's true. It's ask questions. I would love to do a Thursday afternoon segment where it's just open phone line, where people call in and we can say, this is what I have left in their free. Maybe that's what we do with the Chef Knack section, right? Where they call in. Yeah. We'll do it maybe on Thursday afternoons. We'll have them call in same time every week. We'll do a half an hour segment. They call in with what they have left. Let's kind of like a Thursday leftovers. What are we cooking on Friday? Because that's what's in my fridge on Thursday. And we can come up with two different takes on how to cook what's left at the end of the week. That would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun. And it would get people to think of different things. And then you can even have people doing live chat or whatever they call that about, hey, I would do this or I would do that, and mention a few of the good ones.
Well, that would be good. And also, as we get the demo kitchen going here, eventually here at the TCN studios on Spoony Radio, soon to be Spoony TV someday, or I could actually maybe just set up this bench back here. But if somebody could give us their ingredient list, we could maybe walk them through a recipe visually and make it at the same time, which would be really cool.
That would be cool.
That's been the idea all along, right? So you talk about procrastination. It's not always procrastination, John. You and I have both run into that, personally and professionally. But sometimes it's just a money issue as well. And
it's always a money issue.
That cloning myself thing just hasn't worked out yet. I keep trying, but I'm tired of pricking my arm with that little syringe, and I'm starting to lose my hair. I don't know what I've done, but no, just joking. It's. Time and energy, man. Time, energy, and money. I need more, and more. That's of those three.
So I wanted to do an app for that, for people to punch in their problem and have somebody answer it.
Well, you know what? There are some websites, right, where you can be an expert in whatever field you're in, and people ask you questions, and based on your level of expertise, it's 50 cents or $1 or $2 for the answer. And I've thought about doing that, to be honest with you, because it's kind of like there's an app.
Did they reach out to you in LinkedIn?
Yes, they can do that. And
yeah.
But there's also this app, and I'm telling you, people, I don't remember what this app is called. Look it up. But it's for blind people, and basically you assist them. Yes, you assist them in doing things visually. You see what they're seeing, and you assist them through this process. And it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Probably one of the best ways you can volunteer if that's something you're interested in. And I will look up the app name because I thought it was incredible. One of my friends was doing that for like an hour and a half a day, volunteering their time. And if you're dear friend, whoever you were, if you're out there listening, let me know, and I will definitely. I will definitely promote that app. But that's a good idea. We should come up with something. John, as a matter of fact, I happen to know an app developer, and they owe me a favor. So we should talk. We should talk. I think that would be cool.
I'll be in town the 16th to the 21st. Maybe we could do dinner.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm up in Dallas all the time now, but we can definitely make time to get together. And you know what we should? You need to trademark that Chef Knack right now, because I think that would be the Chef Knack app would be cool.
Yeah, Chef Knack.
Yeah, well, I like Nyack better because when Siri says your name, calling John Chevernayak. It's funny because instead of Chevernayak, it's Chevernayak. It cracks me up every time. But hey, man, you got 20 seconds left, dude. Give a plug. Where do they find? How can they help Care?
Care Community Center, carecc.org. carecc.org. Volunteer, or just help your local volunteer locally. Just help the community.
Yeah, I tell you, there's nothing more rewarding than feeding people. I think that's why you and I both do this. Definitely love the art, but even more, it's just fun to see people smile.
You don't have to necessarily feed. You could stock a pantry shelf, go and take out the trash for somebody. All
right, brother.
Help an elderly couple.
Hey, John, I'll talk to you off the air in a little bit. Take care, brother. Hey, Chef Patrick Mosher, Food Biz Pro. Hang on there. I will be right back with the fourth and final course. Dessert is coming up with What Are We Drinking this weekend.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter @Food Biz Pro.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. That's 800-218-6473.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
And we're back. Yes, the fourth and final course, dessert for the day. We'll see. I did not touch base with Cheryl Heisler of Mixed Metaphors. She did send me a wonderful, well, it wasn't a cocktail this week. It's actually something, my favorite adult beverage, perhaps libation, so to speak. But I'll wait a minute and see if she's going to call in or not. I won't text her and bother. She is a new grandmother. They had the first grandbaby was born. I don't know if it was Friday or Saturday, but I know she called in last week while her daughter-in-law was in labor. So she was being called away at the very end of the segment, and we'll see if Cheryl calls in here in a few minutes. But again, if she doesn't call in today, we'll give her a plug anyway. I owe her more than just a plug. Her services are amazing. It's mixedmetaphors.com. If you need someone to design a custom cocktail as a gift, a wedding present, a thank you you have a party, you have a theme, you have a specific menu concept, you have a flavor profile you want to match, she will custom design cocktails for you. And I'll tell you what, when we met her face to face up in Chicago at the Writers Theater, and she made a couple of cocktails that were unbelievable. I'm not a big gin drinker, but this drink she made, it was with gin, simple syrup. It had fresh squeezed lime juice, and lemon juice, and I think it had a little soda water. It was the best, one of the best cocktails I've ever had. And as far as gin goes, it was the best cocktail I've ever had. So check it out, mixedmetaphors.com. Yes, it's a good play on words. And Cheryl Heisler, she's just a fantastic and very talented mixologist. So please, she does all this without compensation for Spoony Radio. Every week, she was coming up with 2 custom cocktails that we would put out over the weekend. And now we're going to come down to 1. But where it's going to be, what are we drinking this weekend instead of Friday? And she's on the phone. Perfect timing. How are you? How was that? Was that an okay plug?
Can you hear me? Yeah, it was a great plug.
No.
Can you hear me okay?
I can. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you so much. I feel older and wiser.
Yeah, I'll drink to that Mazel Tov. I'm going to have a little arrogant bastard ale right here because apparently I'm not worthy, it says. So it says right on the can I'm not worthy, but I'm going to drink it anyway, just to spite them.
I like that one.
Yeah, it's not bad. You know, it's
You're most worthy.
Yeah, but can I just tell you what? I'm not going to dive in yet, but you chose my favorite beer ever. I don't know if you saw my email.
That's crazy.
It's
I did. Of all, what do they say in that line? You know, of all the gin joints in the world, you had to walk into of all the beers in the world. I had to choose that one.
I know. We've spoken beers before, but that was not one that we specifically have spoken about. And so before we get there, we're not going to go there yet. So how has the first a week of grandmotherhood been?
It is the most wonderful, undescribable, exhausting time of my life. I mean, this little one is okay, I'm biased, but he's beautiful. Excuse me, he's sweet. He's delightful. And then every once in a while, this little incredible Hulk side of him comes out. And he turns beet red and starts banging his little fists and kicking his little feet. And usually that happens someplace between, at 2 and 4 in the morning. And we're staying with the kids. So nobody in this house can put a full sentence together because we all sort of fall asleep. If it gets real quiet at this end, just kind of say, give me the equivalent of a elbow in the ribs. And it just meant I fell asleep. I fell asleep for a quick second.
Yeah, that's funny. So I'm trying to make this one photo today that I'm just gonna post, and I didn't know how much of that message I should post. I just read through it again, and I think I'm just gonna post, welcome to grandmotherhood part and how cool Boulevard Brewery, man, very cool.
That's partly what the connection is, right? Our kids are in Kansas City, and my son is a big beer fan. And one of the first times we came here, he said, let's go take a tour of one of the breweries. And we went to Boulevard Brewing Company, which was originally started back in 1988. And it's been moved around in Kansas City. It's now the 12th largest craft brewery in the U.S. So
crazy.
It's been bought out, of course, by Duval, which is a bigger company, but it still operates as Boulevard. And they have it's a blast to just see how everything is made. I always love touring distilleries and breweries. But at the end, and I'll have to talk about the stuff in between, at the end they open up the taps.
Well, isn't that the reason we go?
You want to trade this? No, I go to learn how brewing is made and the fine art of crafting beer. Why do you go?
Yes, exactly. And it would never be the tastings at the end, ever. New Belgium, I never tried the beer there. Odell's, never tried the beer there. Back in the day when Flying Dog was in Aspen, never tried the beer there. I certainly didn't drink in at St. Arnold's Brewery or Shiner or any of those, never. Let's see, North by Northwest in Austin, never tried the beer there. I'm lying. Every one of those. That was, but I do. I love the whole process.
It is, and it's great and that's why the craft distilleries too are so great to tour, because you get to see what goes behind what you take home and enjoy. How do they make it? Makes their process special. Why do they have success with the kinds of brews that they do? Kansas City is very much a beer town. I think beer and barbecue just go so fantastic. And yes, there are kosher barbecues or fish barbecues. So I don't want you to question my my integrity there.
Never.
But beer goes with it. I'm teasing you. But did you know overall that there are 11 year-round beers that Boulevard offers?
You know what? I knew there were a bunch, but I didn't know there were 11, which is awesome.
And if you count the seasonal and then the total listed on the tap room, I think you're closer to I want to say about 35 total. So
wow,
they really have quite the following. But Tank 7 Farmhouse Ale is the selling in the region for its type of beer.
Well, so and then let's get to the point. What are we drinking this weekend? You just let the cat out of the bag. But yeah, so Tank 7 Farmhouse Ale is literally, I think, and it's funny because I'm not a really high alcohol content, a drinker of a consumer of beer. I mean, I like them, but it's not. My favorite style of beer is Kölsch because I lived in Cologne. That's that style of beer. But this particular ale is just I don't know. It's got the perfect balance for me, and it knock your socks off if you have too many.
Oh yeah, it feels light, even though I think it's 8.5% alcohol by volume.
Yes, it is.
So it gets packs more of a punch, but it's still clean. It to me, and I'm not a lover of really hoppy beers. It's got just the right amount of aromatic, sort of a fruity feel, maybe even a little grapefruit to it. But when you finish drinking it, it's got a very clean finish with just a little bit of happiness to it. It's sort of like if you're going to put it in the all-around, just great drinking beer. That's where I would land it.
Yeah, it's I'll tell you, it's a nice clean beer. Again, it's not too hoppy as of an aftertaste. It's not big and malty, like most of the high percentage beers are. It's a and it still tastes like an ale, which I like. It's just good stuff. I'll tell you. It's, again, if you're out and you're drinking this, it's rare to get it on tap, but if you do, beware. If you're drinking pints, every pint is like 4 standard American beers. So, yeah, take an Uber home or to and fro.
There
actually.
You go.
So, do you have a favorite barbecue joint in town?
I have. We've been eating at a place called Q39 because it's really close to the kids out in Overland Park. We had lunch there. First day we got here, we had some friends and family come in to see the baby. We took them there last night. Outstanding. My personal favorite is Jack Stack because when our kids got married, they did a kosher run for us. They koshered all the grills and bought kosher meat. And I had all those things that I've never really tasted before, like burnt ends and the baked beans with the barbecue in it. Oh, my gosh, that is good food. I keep telling my other kids, could they please meet somebody from Kansas City so I could have an excuse to throw another outrageous party here? Because that was just like, it was amazing. Do you have a favorite barbecue? Of all the places you've traveled in Texas barbecue and Kansas City barbecue are both wonderful, but I understand they're very different.
Yeah, so I try not to pick a favorite. I have to say, so I've been to Franklin's in Austin, right? And I have to say that's probably some of the best brisket I've ever had. And when I eat barbecue, I typically don't eat it with the sauce. First couple of bites, no sauce. Sometimes I don't ever put the sauce on. But I have to say, there's a butcher here in town that does Wagyu brisket, Japanese, breed.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, no. And I had a guest on the show, Donna, and Donna she owns a company called she's the Jelly Queen, right? And the Jelly Queens. Her husband is the Spice King. And she started out on, was it Next Food? It was MasterChef, I think. And she went out fairly early in the show, but they told her if she does not start a company, jellies, condiments, or whatever, that she would be remiss and she would have missed her career opportunity. And it was a time when there was a kind of a tragedy behind. They lost a son, and so she decided to start this venture.
Oh.
And I'll tell you what, her line, every product she makes is world class. So she brought to the show when she came in. It's funny. She's the grandma everybody wants, and she says that herself, and she's right. She brings a picnic basket. She opens the basket. She lays the plates out. She puts the food on, and she brought this warm brisket from I'll think of this meat seller, this butcher place right down the street from her, but. She brings the Wagyu brisket, and she had this. It wasn't sauce. I tried the brisket on its own. Unbelievable, right? Just because it's Wagyu and it's just fatty and juicy. But she had this condiment. It's a black garlic and balsamic vinegar sauce. That's a little. It's kind of thick.
Oh my
It's kind of thick though, and it's almost. It was the most amazing. That single bite, and I swear I've eaten a lot of great food. I've had my weight in foie gras. But this single bite was the best bite of food I've ever had. And I can't say it was really traditional barbecue in that sense, but there was just something
magical. Traditional one better, it sounds like.
Well, there was something magical in that. And then someone made a pie that was a WFC competitor, and she was also, I think she kind of sponsors the WFC, the World Food Championships, and a lot of her product is used. And she goes around and makes biscuits and serves them in jelly in the VIP areas in the morning. But I'll tell you, this pie she had made it. Somebody used her cherry jam or jelly, and they made this white chocolate cherry pie. And I'm trying to think who. I'll get out in a second. I'll think who made it, but I'll tell you it was the single best bite of pie I've ever had, and they had the Spoony logo on the top. I'll tell you what, ungodly. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I was like, I kind of felt guilty, like I'm eating something that should be forbidden. I'm not allowed to have this food.
Did you tell her about the food show? Could she exhibit there, or do you think it would cost her too much to bring her wares?
No, so actually, I'm sure she's aware. What I would like to do is maybe get her. You're not supposed to share booths, in theory, but if you have a product which complements another product within the booth, then you can share in that sense. And so I'm telling you, her unbelievable, phenomenal products. It's the Jelly Queens. You can go on Facebook online and find them, and everything is magical. But best barbecue, I don't know. I make a mean rack of ribs, so it's hard to say what's the best. My favorite place to go, because it's hard to go out and spend $30 on a dinner I know I can make for $8 and do it better. At home.
Wait, do you do the old-fashioned kind of smoker, or are you just talking about a barbecue on the grill?
Okay, so we're talking about smoking meat, right? In Texas and in Kansas City. I'm a northerner. I'm north of that Manson-Nixon line from New York, but up there barbecue is grilling out. Same in Chicago, I think. Up until recently. But as far as the church I used to go to, we had an annual barbecue. It was our biggest fundraiser, and there's the pit's it's like a 40-foot long, 50-foot long pit, and it has a giant.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh, it's huge. It has a giant firebox, and then there's 1, 2, 3 doors, 4 doors with 3 shelves each. Each shelf holds 7 briskets, so you have 21 times 4 is 84 brisket at a time. Right, and then there's another 84 brisket at one time. That's you. Sometimes you can get 8 per shelf, but typically it's 7 per shelf. 3 shelves per door, 4 doors. That's 21 times 4 is 84. So yes, okay, folks, I lied about being able to do simple math. But then there's also a big smoking box in the front that has racks as well that we line that with ribs, or you can hang a whole pig in there if it's supported correctly. And I'm telling you what, because you can do, I think it's 20, almost 30 racks of ribs, 30 racks of ribs, 81 brisket at a time, 84 brisket at a time. And we would do that like 2 full cycles of ribs. So we do between 150 and 200 racks of ribs. Not ribs, but full brisket. These are 14 to 16 pound brisket. And we would do these.
The smell in the town must be fantastic.
Yeah,
the whole place must just absorb that.
It didn't suck. But I tell you, I was so tired of barbecue by the end of that weekend because I would eat so much. Everyone that came off, you're like, a candy, you know, you that's got that beautiful, again, the burnt ends, you know, we would just peel it off and call it candy. But it's amazing. So you told me about that kosher barbecue before, and you told me, don't they go to Chicago like once a year? Don't they haul a big pit up there?
No, that's just a place in Texas does. Boy, I got to look that up. Yes, that's the other way I've had it. Just one time in Kansas City when Jack Stack did this kosher run, and one time when this big old, 16-wheeler pulled up with the smoker attached, and the lines go around the grocery store parking lot to pick up what they've got, and it's superb. They do everything in the smoker. They do chickens. They do beef ribs, kosher beef ribs. They do burnt ends. They do, believe it or not, pot pies. I don't know how they do pot pies in the smoker. Maybe they take the meats and then just warm it through again. It's infused. That's what I love. The difference to me about versus grilling out is you get that smokiness in every single piece and bite. And when you haven't had it, it's like as a grown-up tasting something you've never, ever, ever tasted before.
So, and that's the thing. So you were, this was not, fairly, not decades ago. So, having, whenever I try something for the first time, something like I had never had Peking duck until I was in my early 30s. I'd seen it. I lived in New York City, for Christ's sake. I'm sorry, I'm probably going to help, but I'm serious. See it hang in the window all the time, and literally never had it. And so I tried it, and I was like, how could I have not had this? I had everything from mushu, duck style, mushu pork style duck, in the crepes, and they roll it up for you, but I just had never had it. And it just, the explosion of flavor. And when you talk about things that are cured or smoked like that, then I can't imagine trying it as a child is one thing, or as a young man, but as your palate has developed over the years, as an adult, and you obviously have a very curious palate, great talent in mixology and creating those flavors, the combination of flavors to give you that breadth and depth and brightness, or the bitter, whatever sensation you're looking for. When you finally get to have that, because I did you even imagine what it would taste like?
I don't think I could. I'd had brisket before, but it was delicious. I love brisket. Yeah. But when it's slow cooked in an oven, it's soft and it's juicy and it goes down really. But it doesn't have that smoke infusion. Did I tell you that for my last birthday I got a gift of a smoker, not for the outside, but for my cocktails? I just realized I haven't played around with it yet. We might have smoked drinks in our future, Chef.
So is that one of the handheld with a little hose on it? Or is it?
It's a smoking box.
So I've never used the smoking. I've used the wooden blocks where you can take different wood chips and light them, and then smoke the glass over that. I've done that, but I've never used the smoking box before. That's going to be cool. So, what are we going to do with that? Just saying.
I'm thinking, one of the things I was thinking about, what are we drinking this weekend? Is there any way to incorporate barbecue in a cocktail? And I guess I needed a little more sleep and a little bit more time to flex my muscles. So we went straight to the good Tank 7, but there might be other ways to get a little barbecue flavor into our cocktails. I'm not going to give up quite that easily.
Well, I actually
hold that thought.
I kind of have a favor that I might ask you. I'm going to say it on the air because I'm going to need some help. I haven't competed in a food competition since I was in culinary school, which was many decades. It was eons ago, right? But I have actually thrown my hat in the ring for this coming Tuesday's Culinary Fight Club here in Frisco, Texas, where I'll be competing against 3 other chefs, and it's fun. It's going to be actually the winner gets invited to the big show in Chicago. It's exactly a week, I think, before the World Food Championships here, and I believe if you win in Chicago, you get a golden ticket. There may be a golden ticket awarded at this show. I don't think so. There may be. I'll find out. But so here's the key, right? We're allowed to take. Let's because I'm not sure what I'm going to make from a food perspective. We may have to be in contact over the weekend a little bit. I have a mixologist, so Matt Locke, who he's been on the show a few times. He's the host over on Mojo 50. He does a show in the afternoon, and I do a beer for. He's the beer for brunch Fridays, right? Or beer for breakfast on Fridays.
Got it.
He was a bartender in a past life. He's pretty good. But here's the thing. there's a 18 or 16 ingredient pantry. I don't know exactly what's in there. I'll find out on a call right after the show. And each team member, so the mixologist and the chef, so each of us can bring 3 secret ingredients with us. And they have to be unprepared, uncooked, unopened in their original package. So obviously my forte is Japanese food, or say crudo, or sashimi style, sushi style, bowl type dishes. I mean, I've done everything. I've opened barbecue restaurants and fried chicken places, and whatever gourmet French Michelin starred stuff people eat. I've done a lot of stuff, but my flavor tendency is to go towards Asian, citrusy, and I can't say everything I want to do, because I can only rely on 3 ingredients. Because this is not like Chopped, where you can take when someone else is done with an ingredient and put it on your board and use that same stuff. There are 18 ingredients or 16, 4 chefs. You get the whole container of whatever you grab. You can't share.
So if somebody else takes it, it's out of your realm.
Correct. Other than some basic stuff, which you like salt and pepper, right? So
okay.
But that being said, I'm trying to plan this, right? My first thoughts, I can do something like an amuse-bouche, right, in a little Chinese tasting spoon, and I can do, so I could do, wasabi cream rice, right, with like a Japanese poke on top. Okay, but here's the deal: I can take the rice, I can take the wasabi, I can take the tuna. Doesn't mean I have onion, doesn't mean I have soy, doesn't mean I have any of those other ingredients, right? And then I can still take 3 ingredients for the drink, but doesn't mean I guaranteed to have anything else. Nothing. I'm not guaranteed another ingredient at all. So I'm going to get some clarification on this, and then I'll send you a text asking for assistance, and maybe we come up with a game winner, and then I'm stacking the deck here a little bit, but Matt can put his little spin on whatever. I mean, because I'm going to try to keep the drink as simple as possible, but I have to mimic the flavor in the food, because it's a sip. It's the perfect bite and sip is the competition.
Okay, that's what I was missing. What course you were going to make?
I didn't go there. Yeah, sorry. It's basically an hors d'oeuvre.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So.
Oh wow.
We will see. We will see if I can walk the walk, because. Look, I'm throwing my hat in the ring. It's going to be fun. I don't care.
How many people are you competing against, did you say?
It's the first one in Dallas. They're limiting this to 4 chefs to compete. They have larger events, but the first one they do in each city, they just want 4. So, and they need a minimum of 4 to compete.
Is this one of those? It's an honor just to be nominated. There's a lot of great chefs in Dallas. Congratulations for being chosen to be one of these people.
I'm not sure if I was chosen or if I just was in a dream state and said, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, no problem. I'm going to kick some and
some people choose greatness, so others have greatness thrust upon them. I believe there's a quote like that hanging around.
Here's the deal. So as you know, like we had Rob Jones on, right? And he's the Cigar Talk Radio guy, remember? And
oh, sure.
That was one of my favorite segments, because we talked about pairing things, and it was off the cuff. And that, to me, it challenges you in several ways. It tests your memory, right? It tests your ability to think quickly, but also to be pertinent, right? To pair flavors and describe them in a way that people can understand and apply to their meal, whether it's the beverage, the food, or the cigar. I mean, it was really fun to do that. It was probably my favorite segment. And you know what? This is a good challenge for me. It's a good challenge mentally, emotionally. As a matter of fact, last night I laid down to go to sleep. I typically open up the laptop, I turn on Netflix, and I fall asleep to something, or I go on YouTube and listen to like The Plague or The Lost Tribe or something like that. And I fall asleep to something terrible, but with a volume low. But last night I was so tired, my eyes started, my head started bobbing. I never even logged in. I fell asleep, and I didn't move from 11:15 to 7:15 this morning. So
whoa,
I don't know if it was the knowledge that I'm going to be actually, starting to challenge myself again, not just doing catered events and food shows and talking on the radio. And I love it all, but my passion is cooking. And if I'm not creatively challenged, I feel like I'm not wilting, but stagnant, and it's
not
fun.
not moving forward. I get that.
Yeah, it's fun. Like I'm learning every day, everything of the volume of stuff I read and talking to you and the other listen to the other shows. The other show host is fantastic, but I don't know. It's gonna be fun. Put myself out there in the public.
I'm excited to brainstorm this with you, and anything you know about the other chefs would be, I mean, not spying kind of stuff, but if you know their backgrounds or what their go-to stuff is, that'd be useful.
I got the goods. I know them all.
Scoop.
I know them all. So there is one wild card. So there's one wild card in here who I don't know a lot about. He's not an unknown, but he's kind of a new highlight in the area, and he's got a very foreign repertoire, a very interesting cultural repertoire that's fascinating to me. So I'll study his menu tonight. I'll give you a breakdown and see if we can't knock this out of the park.
Okay. That's a nice, so it's not just this weekend, it's what are we drinking this week?
Yes, well, yes, because I'll tell you what, if that's a hit on Tuesday, then everybody in the world will know about it, at least that listens to Spoony Radio. So, Cheryl, is there any...
If you're getting to Chicago on that, I'm coming to be in the audience and cheer you on.
Yeah, that'll be October 6th and 7th, or 7th and 8th, somewhere in there, but I'll find out those dates, and I won't know till Tuesday if I win. But look, we got about a minute left, 45 seconds. You want to give a shout out? I don't know little baby's name, but glad everybody's healthy and happy.
I do. Welcome to this world, little Micah. He's a doll. And we did toast him with some pretty delicious single malt this morning. So another reason why if I'm not as coherent as usual.
That's funny.
I had beer, my equivalent of beer for breakfast today, but it's all for you've been so sweet. Thank you for all the good wishes.
You're welcome.
And thanks, listeners, for supporting me and calling in from all sorts of crazy places.
Are you going to dose him with a little of that single malt before his brisket? Poor little guy. Sorry, that was a bad joke.
Plain old Mogan David. That's all he got. He's going to have to develop a taste for Eberler.
All right. Well, hey, thank you very much, Cheryl, and we're very happy for you here at Spoony, all of our listeners, and have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you before Tuesday.
All right, everybody, enjoy the weekend. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, folks, that's it. We're wrapping it up. Dessert is done. Apparently, we're drinking. Tank 7 Farmhouse out. Hey, have a great weekend. Be safe. Be good to yourself. Remember, you already eat. Talk to you next week.